Hockey playoffs, Bergen Catholic to take on Montclair for the right to advance to the championship, where they'll take on Delbarton. Hi everyone, I'm McLaughlin, back at the Mennen Arena along with Pete Caggiano. And Pete, I don't know if we can match the excitement of that first game.
Matt, that first game was outstanding. We just about wrote Delbarton off. They were down by 2 goals with 3 minutes to go, and they came back and scored the game winner with just under a minute and nipped St. Joe's to propel themselves into the finals.
Bergen Catholic comes into the game with 13 wins against 7 losses. They have 3 ties, and they have to be considered the underdog.
Right now, Bergen Catholic is the underdog only because they've never advanced this far before. They have a good squad, they have a high-scoring squad, but so far have not gotten this far. Last year, the quarterfinals was as far as they were able to attain.
They lost to Delbarton in the quarterfinals last year. As Pete mentioned, they are a high-scoring team. They average over 7 goals per contest, and they have 2 of the top 5 scorers in the state. We're going to talk about one of them, Ghia.
Ghia is an excellent skater. He's a left wing, he's a senior, 51 goals this year. He's the 2nd leading scorer on the team, 5th overall in the state.
And he is the leader for this club. He, along with McGee, their center iceman on that first line, really are the key to this club. If you talk to the coaches, Mark Pecoraro for Bergen Catholic, Bruce Parker for Montclair, they agree that the game's going to come down to offense versus defense. Bergen Catholic wants to get out on top, keep the pressure on by scoring a lot of goals, and Montclair, of course, shoots for a shutout.
Montclair probably one of the best defensive squads in the league. Bruce Parker runs a very disciplined team, a very refined team. They do not take chances. They're known for their defense. And of course, when you talk defense on Montclair, you talk about Marty Statlander, senior, 4 years on the varsity. He is definitely the anchor of their squad.
Statlander, an outstanding player, and as you mentioned, he is the anchor. They really have a real strong defensive crew with Macon and List along with Statlander back there, and Eddie Krupp has played very well in the playoffs in goal.
Ed Krupp has been outstanding, but it's a total team effort. Even the forwards back check with Montclair. Bruce Parker puts together units of 5 skaters that can play together, and they all play a beautiful transition game from offense to defense.
One other key in this game is depth. Montclair will put 4 lines out there. They will also have 5 defensemen that they'll interchange. Bergen Catholic basically goes with 2 lines and 2 defense pairings. That sets the scene for our semifinal round number 2 as Bergen Catholic takes on Montclair to advance to the championship, where they'll take on Delbarton. Back at the Mennen Arena, Matt Laughlin along with Pete Caggiano, and the crowd has thinned out just a little bit. That understandable, of course. Delbarton utilizes Mennen as its home ice, and therefore, once that game concluded, a lot of the fans went home to get ready for Wednesday, because Delbarton has advanced to the championship, and they'll take on the winner of this game between Bergen Catholic and Montclair. The officials working tonight's second half of our doubleheader, Paul McGinnis and Vin Godleski.
Matt, 2 veteran officials. Both fellows have been officiating at both the scholastic and the college level for quite a number of years, and they should be doing an excellent job for us this evening.
Let's meet the starters. First for Bergen Catholic, we spoke about their left wing, Ghia. Chris McGee is the center. The right wing is Tom Cunningham. And the defense pairing, and this is a young pairing. Brian Kennedy is only a sophomore. Fred Lacena is only a freshman, so that's very young for their first defense line. And in goal, they have a senior, Don Shields, a backup last year. Shields the starter this year, giving up a little over 5.7 goals per game. But again, this is a club that likes to score a lot of goals. He's kind of a flopper, not the stand-up angle type goalie that we will see in Ed Krupp. Meanwhile, for Montclair, they will start as their first line, Dave McClean, John Morris, and Phil Mandry. And a veteran defense pairing, Marty Statlander and Darren List. List a junior, Statlander a senior. Up front, they go all juniors. Offensively, this is a very young club, a lot of junior forwards. And in goal, who will come out of that huddle? There he is, number 1, Ed Krupp. He too is only a junior, giving up 2.30 goals per game, and he has appeared in 21 of the 26 Mountie contests. Mark Pecoraro talking to his Bergen Catholic Crusaders. As Peter mentioned in the open, they have never made it to the championship, looking to do so under their 2nd-year head coach. Comes in with 24 wins, 16 losses, and 5 ties. Bruce Parker, 4 years at Montclair, a veteran of the Massachusetts Wars, however, Pete.
Bruce has seen quite a bit of hockey in his lifetime, both up in New England, as you mentioned, and now down here in Montclair. He does an excellent job with the Mounties. Little side note, Matt, both our coaches tonight are NCAA ice hockey referees.
We're just about ready for the start. Chris McGee will take the face-off for Bergen Catholic. It'll be John Morris for Montclair. 15 minutes of action in the first period, and we're underway. This is Statlander, plays it across the ice for Mandry. Mandry has it knocked away, picked up by Darren List. The junior plays it up for Mandry. He can't control. It's taken by Ghia, who bangs it off the boards behind the Montclair goal. Here's McClean, the junior, 25 goal scorer, plays it to John Morris. Morris played off by Fred Lacena as the puck is free along the blue line. Big slap shot taken by McGee. It is blocked by Statlander and flipped in by Tom Cunningham. Solid check by Ghia as he sends List down to the ice. List up and is okay. And we're going to have an offside called.
List got caught with his head down. Ghia, noticing that, just stood in the way just enough to put his shoulder right into the chest and knock him flying.
Second line out there for Bergen Catholic. Jeff Leonard, the left wing. Peter Rutigliano on the right. And Greg Amerkanian is the center. Greg's older brother Darren, an assistant coach at Bergen Catholic, and he played for St. Joe's a few years ago. St. Joe's losing earlier this evening on TV3 in the first half of our doubleheader coverage of the state semifinals, as St. Joe's fell to Delbarton 6-5, and the Green Wave advances to Wednesday evening's championship game, 7 o'clock here at the Mennen Ice Arena. John Frank with the puck. Good control, is bodied off by Kevin McLaughlin. Still has it in the corner. Out in front, and it's picked up by Amerkanian. He just backhands it clear, and we will have an icing if it goes behind the line, and it does, and we'll come back the other way.
Very nice pressure there by Montclair. And it was John Frank showing a lot of stamina and a lot of strength as he was bumped twice, but managed to hold on to the puck before making the centering pass. Montclair averages 6.2 goals per game. And
gives up just 2.3. In speaking with Mark Pecoraro, as we look at the Bergen Catholic stats, as we said earlier, over 7 goals per game they score. They give up almost 6. So they like to fly from end to end. Montclair, a much tighter checking crew. And Mark Pecoraro says, we know what we want to do. We want to get out ahead, and we want to prevent them from keeping the puck in the zone. As here comes Ghia on a break. We'll get back to that in a moment. The slap shot in the goal! That's what they wanted to do.
They did exactly what they wanted to do, Matty. They sprung Ghia on the right side. He blew past the defenseman just over the blue line, wound up for the big shot, and he beat him. He beat Ed Krupp right to the low side.
For Ghia, his 52nd goal of the year.
There you see him right there, fight for it, comes over the blue line, top of the circles, watch the shot, to the far side, perfect. They teach you in hockey school to shoot low to the stick. That's exactly where he shot, that's exactly where he beat him.
1:42 the time of the goal. And the 1-0 lead for Bergen Catholic. They said they wanted to get on top early, force Montclair to open things up, and they also wanted to prevent Montclair from working the puck as they are now in Bergen Catholic's defensive zone. He said they are very strong forecheckers. If we can prevent them from doing that, we have a chance. And as he said earlier today, we know what we want to do. Now we have to go out and accomplish it. Banged off the boards by Brian Kennedy. There'll be no icing.
Matty, a team strategy is usually coordinated according to what the team's strengths are. Right now, you're taking a look at a Bergen Catholic squad that has the big guns that can score. On the other side, Montclair is a defensive team because that's what they do best. I don't think in the beginning of the year you say, I'm going to be a defensive team. You look and see the type of players you have, who you have, and then you make your decision and you set your team according to the horses that you have.
Mandry in a race across the blue line. Kennedy back, or excuse me, that's McLaughlin, who makes a diving check. McClean has it in the corner. He's double teamed, sneaks clear, brings it out in front, plays it in front, and a cover up by Shields, and we'll have a face-off. Little pushing and shoving going on. Two players who will not be intimidated, Kevin McLaughlin and Brian Kennedy, both rather tall, physical defensemen, and they'll try and keep the net clear in front of Ron Shields.
Don Shields that time was trying to, just as you mentioned earlier, Matty, he's a flopper. Watch, he's already down before the shot is even taken, and then holds the rebound. And there we see the little extra pushing and shoving going on.
12:04 left to play. It's a 1-0 Bergen Catholic advantage. John Ghia with his 52nd goal of the year. His list shot is cleared into the corner. This is Phil Mandry, looks to play it behind the net, is double teamed. Recovers, bangs it off the boards behind Shields. Chases on, picked up by Rick Fuller. Fuller cannot clear, but it is picked up by Rutigliano. Peter Rutigliano on the off wing, has it knocked away. And we are going to have a delayed penalty called on Bergen Catholic. Paul McGinnis will have the call. Here's Mandry, can't control, and now as Amerkanian picks it up, we're going to get the call. Holding will be the call, and it will go against Rutigliano, and we will have our first power play opportunity of the evening.
That's Peter Rutigliano will sit 2 minutes for a holding. It came along the far boards right in front of the penalty box as the Montclair player was trying to get away. Rutigliano just wrapped his arms around him and pulled him down. Play continued because Montclair had control of the puck, and on a delayed penalty, the whistle does not blow until the offending team gains control. There we just saw a quick shot of Mark Pecoraro shouting instructions to his squad.
Power play advantage for the Mounties, our first of the evening. John Frank headmans the rush, plays it for List, or check that, that's Kennard Rhodes. Rhodes plays it to McClean in the corner. McClean behind the net, looks to wrap around, and he scores!
They gave McClean all the room in the world, and Dave McClean took advantage of it, circling around the net, waiting for, really wanted to pass, but nobody was there to pass to, took the shot and beat him cleanly. Watch McClean, nobody touches him. Comes around the net, here his head's up, he's looking, now he says, well, the heck with it, I'll just shoot, and there it is.
Don Shields had the near side post guarded, but he left the far side post unprotected. Of course, you can't do both unless you're built like a safe. However, McClean put it in the far side. We're tied at 1. Both teams at even strength now as the power play goal by McClean brings Rutigliano out of the penalty box.
Matty, the cardinal sin is to leave the near post. You have to cover the near post. That he did. He just wasn't quick enough to get to the far post.
Here's Rhodes, junior right wing. Looks to get past Kennedy, but cannot. Now Rhodes will pick it up in the corner. Kennard Rhodes puts on the brakes. Still with it. In the circle, comes out to the middle, plays it off the boards. This is John Frank. Frank with the backhand pass. It's knocked away, and Ghia sends it ahead for Cunningham. Krupp will settle it and leave it for Darren List. List spins away nicely. Good move by List as he comes out of the defensive zone. Across the blue line. Tries to run through Fred Lasena, cannot. It's picked up instead by John Frank. Frank plays it back to the point. This is Statlander. His shot is blocked by Cunningham. Possible break. Here comes Chris McGee, one-on-one. The slap shot high. I believe it was deflected by List. This is Ghia. Plays it to McGee. McGee for Ghia, and a goal!
Beautiful giving goal. That time Ghia had the puck in the slot. He dumped it in the corner to Chris McGee. McGee waited for Ghia to get clear, slid the puck back to John Ghia. John Ghia making no mistake about his shot, beat Ed Krupp to the far side again. This is the look. There's the pass. Watch on the left side of your screen.
There's the goal.
There you see the jubilant wave of the arm by John Ghia.
His second goal of the evening, number 53 on the season. He now has come close to overtaking Chris McGee for team honors. He is still second on the team. McGee with 98 points now with the assist. And we have an offside.
3 goals in the first 6 minutes of this game. We expected a defensive game, and here it's opened up quite a bit.
Bruce Parker said that in the state playoffs in the 2 previous games for Montclair, they did not come out and play well in the first period. And he said until they can shake that off, he can't say that they are peaking, though they did win both of those games and are favored tonight. And they are struggling in the early going as they trail 2-1 to Bergen Catholic. Paul Sniski plays it out in front. Here's Eric Berstorfer with it, and it is between the legs of Donnie Shields, and he covers up.
That was a tough save for Shields because the shot was deflected as it came in. It changed directions. It kind of floated on its edge. This is the shot. Now watch as it hits a stick right there, jumps up, and originally Shields thought the shot was going to be on the ice. It came up. He had to squeeze the pads together, and then he was knocked to the ice after, but he does a fine job to hold on.
9:15 left to play in the first period.
There we take a look at Don Shields. As you mentioned, Matt, kind of a flopper. He's a senior, and 5.7 goals against this year.
Comes up with the big save on McClean in front. Americanian along the boards, bangs it off the boards ahead for Rutigliano. Rutigliano tries to center a pass, but his man slipped and fell. That was Jeff Leonard. Lost the edge of his skates at the blue line. Kennedy plays it up for Leonard, is knocked down and played in to the Bergen Catholic zone. Brian Kennedy, the big sophomore defensive player, backhands it. McClean picks it up, tries to play it in front. It goes behind the net. Taken by Mandry, tries the wraparound. This time, Shields comes up with the save. Mandry has it again, plays it back to the point. Shot on goal. A floater. Here's a shot off the rebound. Picked up by McClean in the corner. Winds it around the boards. John Morris tries to play it out in front, and it is picked up and cleared out of the zone by Rutigliano. Tracked down by Darren List. Cross ice it goes. This is Doug Macon. Macon, good pass ahead for Mandry. Mandry, sharp angle, goes around the net, tries to wrap it around. Again, the save made by Shields. McClean with it as Montclair has picked up the pressure, doing a fine job of forechecking. Morris sent down to the ice, and now we're going to have a face-off as the puck is not under Morris, but instead under Phil Mandry. And the face-off will come out of the zone.
There we take a look at the player for Montclair.
Doug Macon coming off, one of the defensemen, a senior.
Pretty good pressure by the Montclair line on that last few minutes there, that last flurry. They worked the puck well. Again, Matty, in the first game that we saw tonight, we saw a lot of long shots being taken. This game, if you notice, there's been 2 or 3 wraparound attempts made by Montclair against Don Shields. Maybe that's something they talked about earlier, and they're going to try to exploit. Maybe his lateral mobility is not that sharp.
List trying to bring it out of the zone. Plays it across ice. This is Tom Guidi. Guidi checked by Kevin McLaughlin. McLaughlin kicks it ahead. Sent back in by Statlander. Puck is loose. Picked up by Guidi. Now Guidi leaves it. Here's Statlander with the shot. Shields can't control the rebound. Behind the net it goes. This is John Frank. Still with it. Works in on goal. Nice check made as Chris McGee came back from his centerman spot and put the check on Frank. John Frank, 25 goal scorer. This is List. No one there at center ice except for Kevin McLaughlin, who sends it into the Montclair zone. Stopped by Statlander. Winds up with a big slap shot. Knocked down by McLaughlin. Backhanded in by Guidi. Off the boards, Fuller plays it ahead. List can't control. Sent ahead by Americanian. Statlander checked into the boards, but comes away with it.
Nice move by Statlander, getting around the forechecking forward.
This is Bill Morris. Morris, the older brother of John Morris. Both of them are centermen. Here's Morris, his shot. Loose puck in front, still no whistle. And now Paul McGinnis blows the whistle as he loses sight of it. We may get a penalty, though, instead.
I think he's calling a delay of game. One of the Bergen Catholic players, I believe, jumped on the puck while it was in that area. They're lucky they're not getting a penalty shot because that was awful close to being in the crease.
So the second power play advantage for Montclair. They trailed 2-1 with 6:15 left to play in the first period. And as we take a look at the replay, it looked like Shields had it locked up. No whistle, Pete. Then it comes free, and Paul McInnes has a good sight on it.
And there it is, right on the line. Now somebody kicks it, and then it's still loose. Now if you go right there, you see that hand come on top, and he tucks it right in underneath him. That's the defenseman who did that, and that's why he'll get the delay of game.
And it's Brian Kennedy who will sit it out for 2 minutes.
Very lucky was not a penalty shot that was very close to being right at the edge of the crease. These fellows play the round circular crease, not the rectangular crease like you see in the NHL.
Out on the ice for Montclair, Statlander. Frank, here's an interception. McGee plays it back to center ice. McLaughlin off the boards. And Montclair regroups. Frank plays it across to Statlander. They're out there along with McClean, Mandry, and Kennard Rhodes. Trying to kill off the power play. McLaughlin. McGee, here's a play out in front, knocked away. Shot and a save by Shields. Puck comes free into the corner.
Matt, they haven't noticed, but the net's been knocked off. It's not on the line.
Here's McClean for Frank. And he goes off the stick of Statlander into the neutral zone. There you can take a quick look at the net, and it is off the post. Shot goes wide by McClean. Statlander winds up. It's deflected. Knocked down by McLaughlin. He can't clear it. Plays it ahead to McGee. McGee looks ahead for Ghia. Ghia with 2 goals today. Can't track it down. It's cleared away by Krupp. Kept in the zone by McGee. McGee fakes the shot. Backhand in front. Just misses Ghia's stick and comes out to the neutral zone.
Again, there you saw it. They try to spring Ghia. That almost worked. The puck just bounced over his stick, or he would have had another breakaway.
Ghia leaves it for McLaughlin. Sends it off the boards. Krupp with the stick, leaves it for Statlander with 14 seconds left on the Kennedy penalty. Paul Sniski plays it for McClean. McClean can't control, and now Fuller backhands it out of the zone. Penalty expires, teams are at even strength. McLaughlin behind the net, playing it for Rutigliano, who couldn't see it, and Montclair is able to keep it in the zone. List sends it toward goal, knocked down by McLaughlin. He clears it, and we will have an icing, and we will come back the other way with 3:53 to go in the first period, and it is Bergen Catholic with the 2-1 advantage.
Other than the 2 goals that Bergen Catholic scored, they really have not sustained any type of pressure against Ed Krupp. They beat him twice, but both plays were bing-bang plays, the breakaway and then the give and go from the corner. Meanwhile, Montclair has controlled the puck, which is their style, but other than the one time, Don Shields has come up big.
Bill Morris will take the face-off against Greg Amerkanian for Bergen Catholic. And this is Jeff Leonard. Leonard, cross ice he goes to Rutigliano. Back in the zone, and we're going to have an offside called. And we'll come back out to center ice where the face-off will take place.
Pace has slowed a little bit, Matt. The first 5 or 7 minutes of this game, it was end to end. We had, I think, 1 whistle. Now it's starting to slow a little bit. You're seeing a normal flow to the game, and I think you're seeing the disciplined style of Montclair finally coming through.
Montclair with 4 consecutive victories. They ended the regular season with 2 straight losses. They lost to the Hill School 6-4 and to the Petty School 5-3. And they came back, swept 2 in the Gordon Cup, 7-1 over Seton Hall Prep, and then 5-2 in the championship as we get a goal. The championship against Brick, but here it's 3-1.
Ed Krupp has only himself to blame on that one. Matt, from our angle where we're sitting, you could see that that shot was going wide. Krupp should have let it alone. Instead, he tried to steer it into the corner with his stick, and actually what he did was angle it right into his own net.
Amerkanian with the goal, his 14th of the season, as the junior has made it 3-1. A slap on the helmet from head coach Mark Pecoraro for congratulations. And Bergen Catholic the underdog in this contest, has broken out to a 3-1 advantage.
I'd say, Matt, the next goal is going to be crucial. If Bergen Catholic goes up 4-1, that's a big lead in playoff hockey.
Heavy check into the boards as List is sent crashing, and the puck goes over the boards, and we'll have a face-off in the circle coming to the left of Donnie Shields. The right as you look at it, but it is Shields' left.
And we're on the other side, so it's our right. Not to confuse anyone.
Well, we are sitting opposite of our camera angles. I think the only people who are confused, Peter, are you and me. Rights become lefts all of a sudden. 2:35 left to play in the opening period, and Bergen Catholic leads 3-1. Bill Morris behind the net is checked, picked up by McClean. McClean is hit but recovers, sends a shot wide, comes out to the point. Statlander has it, plays it for Mandry, knocked away by McGee, but Mandry recovers. Now this is Bill Morris in the corner, sends it cross ice to the point. List's shot goes wide. Statlander has it, big slap shot, deflects high into the corner. 2:04 left to play in the first period. Here's Ghia trying to play it out of the zone. Headman's a pass to McGee. Big slap shot, and getting back with Statlander to get his stick on it, and that caused the puck to go wide.
Again, Matt, what you saw was the one chance, the one break opportunity by Bergen Catholic, and the sustained pressure by Montclair. The problem is Montclair is too much finesse. They're not taking the shots. They're passing and they're setting up, but they're not shooting, and that's what they have to do.
McClean trying to track it down in the corner, checked by Fuller. This is Mandry with it behind the net. He tries a wraparound. Shield says they got me once on that. So far, since that point, he's been pretty good, and now again, tempers flaring just a little bit. Players introducing themselves to each other, want to know best way out of the Mennen arena at the end of the game. And Paul McGinnis says, we'll worry about that at the end, folks.
Here's the wraparound attempt. Now right there you saw Don Shields throw out his right pad and stop the puck from entering on the short side. Now that must be the 4th or 5th wraparound attempt that they've tried.
And again, except for the one goal that they have scored, the power play goal by Dave McClean, they have not been successful on the wraparounds. Off the face, puck controlled by the Crusaders. Lasena plays it behind the net, up along the boards. Now Kennedy loses control, loose puck in front, and Shields falls on it as we get a face-off. Eric Beiersdorfer broke in on goal. He couldn't really control it and get a good shot off, and then Shields fell on the loose puck, and then someone fell on top of Shields, and he's a little slow in getting up.
I'm not sure if he's a little slow or just taking a rest. There we took a look at Paul Sininski, as he was the one who fell on top of Don Shields.
John Morris to take the face-off for Montclair. Greg Amerkanian will come into the circle in just a moment. Vin Godleski to drop the puck. Now they're going to send John Ghia off as Mark Pecoraro try to make a late change. It is disallowed. 1:13 left to play in the first period. A 3-1 advantage for Bergen Catholic. Statlander toward goal, a deflection, and picking it out of the air is Shields as the stick was up high by Montclair's John Morris trying to knock it into the goal.
Matt, it would not have counted. In scholastic hockey, the puck struck above the height of 4 feet, which is the same height as the crossbar. Watch right there. If he hit it and it went in, they would have disallowed it anyway. He was better off just letting it fall, hoping that possibly it might have gone in on its own, or taking a swipe once it reached the ice. There in 20 games, Don Shields has let in 117 goals. But as we mentioned earlier, they'll easily give up 5 or 6 to score 7 or 8. It doesn't matter how many you let up as long as you score more than you allow in.
That's all that counts.
And that's definitely the philosophy of Bergen Catholic.
60 seconds remaining in the period. We have a delayed offside called. Now it's waved off as the puck comes into the neutral zone. Statlander waiting for Mandry to come onside. didn't wait long enough as Mandry could not get out of the zone, and we do have the offside. Face-off outside the blue line. 52 seconds left.
There's Phil Mandry, the junior forward for Montclair. This is third year on the varsity, a name known to the Action Arena viewers, as we've had Montclair on quite a few times in the past few years.
His older brother Carlton preceding him in the Montclair lineup. Mandry behind the net, tries to play it out in front, cleared off the doorstep by Kennedy. Statlander playing it in the corner. Kevin McLaughlin with it. He winds it up the boards, does not come out, and now it does come across the line. 2-on-1. McGee with Ghia, plays it for Ghia, who sends it high. He had the net wide open. He sent it across the bar. Puck still in the Montclair end. Mandry sends it behind the net. Statlander has it with 13 seconds left. Here's McGee sending it toward goal. Behind the net, picked up and played out in front by Ghia. Here's McGee with it back to the point. Kennedy's shot is deflected by Mandry with 1 second left, and that'll do it.
Boy, Ghia had an excellent opportunity there to put them ahead 4-1 at the end of one. He just shot over the net. But as we mentioned earlier, after 15 minutes, 3-1 in favor of Bergen Catholic, and this was a Bergen Catholic period all the way.
And the Crusaders go into the locker room with the advantage in momentum. Teams will regroup between periods. We'll take a short break. Stay with us. We're back at the Mennen Arena. Matt Laughlin along with Pete Caggiano. Bergen Catholic broke out in front, 1-0 early, 1:42. Ghia's goal with the assist to Chris McGee. On a power play, Montclair tied it up as Dave McClean scored, give the assist to Kennard Rhodes at 3:53. And then BC scored the last two. Ghia on an assist from McGee again at 5:10. And then late in the period, Greg Amerkanian unassisted at 11:35. And Pete, it was almost 4-1, but Ghia overshot an open net.
Ghia was set up right in the slot. He took the pass on his forehand, and in one motion did not stop the puck, just let it go. But unfortunately, he put it a little too high, put it right over the crossbar. Otherwise, he would have had a 4-1 score at this point. There we take a look at Ghia.
The man of the hour, the man with the power.
I think it goes on to say, too sweet to be sour, to be exact.
An old professional wrestling poem. Pete, one of the all-time great professional wrestling fans. Second period underway, teams switch sides. Montclair in the white, Bergen Catholic in the red. Here's McClean playing it for Morris. Morris with the shot, just goes wide. I believe he might have gotten the blocker on it. McClean behind the net again. Here's Morris trying to play it in front. Puck cleared, not out. Good play by Statlander to keep it in. Loose puck, still free. McClean with the backhander. Ghia looking for a face-off as Montclair has come out with the early pressure. And Cunningham can't get it out of the zone. McClean with the backhander, taken by Morris. Morris with the shot deflected high across the glass, and we will have a face-off.
Whatever Bruce Parker said to the fellas between periods, I think it worked. They picked up the intensity level and definitely picked up their performance here in the first minute of the second period.
Mounties looking to get into the state championship game. Delbarton has already advanced. In our first game, it was the Green Wave 6 and St. Joseph's 5. 3 goals coming with less than 3 minutes to play, bringing Delbarton back from a 5-3 deficit to a 6-5 advancement to the championship game. Bergen Catholic hoping to get into the final for the first time in school history. Puck along the boards, played into center zone, and here comes List. List 2-on-1. Backhand, and it's intercepted by Amerkanian.
That was a pass to nobody. Apparently, Bergen Catholic player playing it very smart, tapped his stick on the ice. The Montclair player thought it was one of his teammates and left it for him.
Kennard Rhodes goes flying to the ice. A little bit of an acting job, no call. Here's Rutigliano. Sharp angle off the net, and it's picked up by Doug Macon. Macon off the boards. Picked up there by John Frank. Frank across the blue line. Here's Rhodes, all alone. His slap shot hits a man in front, and it can't be put in by Guidi. And now it's up on the net, and we have a face-off.
Guidi was standing all alone in front. Unfortunately, he had his back to the goal and to the puck. And then he tried a quick little swipe at it, but put it just wide. Here's the shot from the point as he sets up and waits. It hits the body in front. Now there you see it right by his skate. There's the quick turnaround shot that he tries, but he puts it just wide and it ends up behind the net on top of the twine.
Guidi just missed making this game 3-2. Bergen Catholic on top by 2. We are just underway in the second period. 12:55 left to play. Shot on goal just goes wide. It had Shields beaten as Eric Beiersdorfer got off the quick shot. McGee has it knocked away, now recovers. Tries to get it into the neutral zone. It is kept in along the boards and now brought out by Tom Cunningham. Good poke check. This is Morris with it. John Morris into the corner, has it knocked away, and it's picked up by John Ghia. Ghia sends it all the way down, and we were going to have an icing. And we get the whistle from Paul McGinnis, and we'll come back the other way with 12:23 to go in period number 2.
Again, as we take a look at Mark Pecoraro trying to give instruction to his squad, Montclair picked up the performance and the intensity level, putting a lot of pressure on Bergen Catholic. Not able to capitalize yet, but as you well know, Matt, when the pressure's on, that's when things happen.
Bill Morris out there, along with Phil Mandry and Dave McClean. The defensemen are List and Statlander. Puck kept in and now brought out of the zone. This is List. Sends it in. Out there for Bergen Catholic, Fred Lacena and Brian Kennedy, along with Tom Cunningham, Chris McGee, and John Ghia. This is Cunningham with it into center ice. Chases on. Statlander will win the race with Ghia. And we're going to get a penalty called as Darren List got his stick up underneath the chin of John Ghia, and that'll cost List 2 minutes.
Maybe 4 minutes. Here we see the play. Watch Ghia trying to hack, and right there, the stick comes right up, catches him underneath the face mask, right in the throat area. McGinnis, being kind, gives the man a 2-minute minor, probably for high sticking, but easily could have been a major. It was not done intentionally to hurt the player, but there was no doubt about where the stick struck the player.
So the first power play opportunity for Bergen Catholic. Hooking is the call. 2 minutes for hooking for Darren List.
And of course, Ghia, being the smart player that he is, as soon as he was hit up high, went down immediately. That's the best way to draw a penalty, is to go down.
And it was in open ice and right in front of the official, so there was no doubt it was going to be called. Let's see what the Crusaders do. Up 3-1 with the power play. Here's McLaughlin skating in, the shot, save made, rebound in front, and the save made by Krupp. Krupp came off big on the slap shot from McLaughlin. Then the rebound came free. There was a man open in the corner, and McGee couldn't put it home.
Chris McGee made the smart play. Watch the shot from the slot. It's very high. Krupp makes the save. It bounces in the air. Now watch McGee with his right hand take it, throw it down, and now go with the backhand. Notice the extended stick of Ed Krupp as he just covered up on the short side. Very nice.
Back to action. Puck in the corner. Statlander tying up Ghia. Macon tries to poke it free. Ghia along the boards. Ghia, McGee, Amerkanian, Kennedy, and McLaughlin out there on the power play unit for Bergen Catholic. This is McLaughlin. Plays it for Kennedy. Into the slot, and it's intercepted by McClean. McClean ahead for Mandry. Mandry might have a break. Back is McLaughlin. The backhander goes wide. Off the glass along the boards. Sent back in by McClean. It is McClean along with Mandry, Statlander, and also out there is Doug Macon trying to kill this penalty, which has 53 seconds left on it. Darren List sitting it out for hooking. 3-1 advantage for Bergen Catholic. We have 10:40 left to play in the second period. Along the far boards, this is Ghia behind the net, looking for a man out front. It's knocked away by Macon on a good poke check. Out to the point, this is sophomore Kennedy with it. He can't control, and it's cleared out of the zone by Mandry all the way down as time starts to run out on the penalty. 23 seconds left. Puck kept in as it deflects off of Amerkanian, and now it is sent in by Statlander. 13 seconds left. Here's Kennedy, checked by Guidi. Guidi working on Kennedy, flips it high off the glass behind the net to McLaughlin. Miskicks it. Here's Frank, plays it out in front. No one there. Loose puck picked up by Guidi, knocked away by McLaughlin, played out to List, who's out of the penalty box. Shot saved. Puck is cleared behind the net. Kennedy winds it around the boards, up along the near side. Amerkanian sent down. Big shot goes wide. Good hip check. Sent flying is Statlander. Peter Rutigliano with the hip check. Along the far side, Amerkanian with it. Checked by Macon. Puck loose in the corner. Picked up by Kennard Rhodes. Rhodes plays it to Statlander. Bangs it back off the boards as they try to go the other way. Puck loose along the boards. Rhodes goes falling to the ice. Kicked along the boards by Rutigliano. This is Fuller trying to control it, and now coming away with it is Macon. Macon into the neutral zone, still with it. Tries to go between two players and is ridden off the puck. Sent all the way down, chases on, and we will get an icing as Ghia cannot catch up with it. 8:46 to go, and it's still a 3-1 advantage for Bergen Catholic.
When you take a look at the check here, notice Statlander trying to jump to get out of the way. He cannot do it. Rutigliano played that beautifully with his left hip, the trunk of his body, from his shoulders to his knees, mostly his hip, just swung around to the left side, caught Statlander on his right leg and spun him head over heels.
With hips like that, he's great in the rumble line. McGee out for the face-off along with John Morris. This is Morris behind the net. Fuller tries to clear it. Morris has it. Comes in on goal. His shot deflects across the crease. Eric Beiersdorfer with it. Now Morris. Puck loose in the corner. Players converge, and we're going to have a face-off. Bergen Catholic got on the board first. Ghia with the goal at 1:42 of the first. A power play goal a little over 2 minutes later evened it up, but then two unanswered goals by the Crusaders in the first period, has made it a 3-1 lead. Montclair comes into the game as the favorite, but they are trailing by 2. The winner to advance to Wednesday's championship here at the Mennen Arena. Game time 7 o'clock. They will take on Delbarton. Crowd excited as there was a check behind the play. McGee plays it across from McLaughlin. Big slap shot goes wide. It had him beat. And along the near boards, we have the puck tied up, and we'll have a face-off.
Here's the shot. This is a good shot. It's from about 35-40. Notice right there, Krupp did get a little piece of his right pad on it, just enough to deflect it into the corner.
I thought it had him beat, but he did get the blocker pad on it.
Right now with our score 3-1 and just about halfway through the game, Montclair has to wake up. Unless they're trying to pull what Delbarton pulled in the first game, just lull us for the first 2 3/4 periods and then wake up when there's 3 minutes to go.
That would be asking too much. Have that kind of a repeat finish in this game. Here's Dave McClean, the lone goal scorer for Montclair. He had a power play goal back in the first period. 7.5 to go in the second stanza. Macon's pass is deflected into the neutral zone. Sent back in by Morris. Billy Morris tracks down the free puck. Lasena checks him behind the goal. Lays it off from McClean. Tries to play it back to Morris and is sent into center ice. Macon puts on the brakes, gets past Amerkanian, plays it to the open Morris. Morris across the blue line is checked by Kennedy, and the puck is picked up by Rutigliano. Back to the Montclair blue line. This is Macon for McClean. McClean sends it in. 6:50 to go. Puck kept in. Shot and a save made by Shields. I think it had it fooled.
Shields did not look good on that save. He was just able to get his chest in the way.
Puck goes in front of the net. List for Morris behind the net. Morris checked to the ice by Kennedy. Puck comes free. It's picked up by Lacena. Lacena winds it around the boards. Coming in is Macon. He keeps it in. Puck in the corner. Macon in deep for a defenseman. Here's Morris. Billy Morris tries to play it in front for McClean. He sends it wide. McClean was open in front. He put it wide of the goal. Amerkanian. McClean with the steal. Shot, a deflection, and it was seen at the last minute by Shields. Montclair has picked up the pressure. Their forechecking has been excellent in the last minute. And now Bergen Catholic just sends it down to try and get a breather. They will get the icing, and we will come back the other way.
Montclair came awful close quite a few times, just not able to put one home.
The winner of this game will advance to the championship game. Again, they will take on Delbarton. It will take place Wednesday at 7 p.m. here at Mennen. Paul Spahala and Pete Caggiano will be on the call, and we will show it to you on TV3 at 8 o'clock on Thursday. There will be repeat showings of it, and we invite you to stay tuned to TV3 for the dates and times of the repeat showing. Delbarton in the first half of the semifinals, a come-from-behind victory, 3 goals in the last 3 minutes, bringing the Green Wave into the championship game. They tried to headman the pass to Ghia, and this time it was knocked away by Montclair. Guidi backhands it for Frank. Frank along the board, settles, now comes behind the net. Frank still with it, looking to set up. John Frank still with it, backhands it. Here's Guidi. Guidi can't control it. Kick toward the goal. Here comes Ghia, 3-on-2. Ghia with McGee and Cunningham. Ghia tries to go around, Statlander cannot. McGee plays it off the boards. Puck is loose, and it is picked up by Kennard Rhodes. Rhodes across the blue line, sends it ahead for Guidi. And we will have icing. And we'll come back the other way. 4:53 to go in a scoreless second period.
Scoreless, but not without action, not without some beautiful play. Montclair putting on a lot of pressure, worked the puck from the point to that man that was in the corner, who then comes out and tries to wrap around. Unfortunately, it did not work. And then we had the confrontation of the 2 best tonight. We had Ghia coming down the near side against Marty Statlander, and he was not able to get around.
All the scoring coming in the first period. 2 goals by John Ghia, the 3rd by Greg Amerkanian, and the lone Montclair goal from Dave McClean. Bill Morris on the face. Back to the point it goes. Sent in by Fuller, knocked down by McClean. Looks to headman the pass to Mandry. He's in alone. Shot goes wide. Getting back was Kevin McLaughlin. We have a delayed call, and now we have a trip called, and it will be on who? McLaughlin?
That was kind of a delayed call.
Very much so.
He didn't throw out his arm, but many times you're concentrating so hard, maybe you're looking to get the number of the guy who created the infraction, but you know who it is and you know what you want to call. He just didn't stick his arm out, but there was no doubt about the call. Here we see he has him beat. That's Phil Mandry going in. Now watch right now with the swipe as he misses the puck, but takes the skates out from underneath. Mandry is able to get the shot off, but nonetheless, he'll still sit for 2 minutes. That's Kevin McLaughlin.
2 minutes for tripping. 4:39 left to play in the second period. And Montclair with another power play advantage. Their only goal came on the power play. And they send out Phil Mandry, Dave McClean, Kennard Rhodes, Marty Statlander, and John Frank. Brian Kennedy out there. So is Rob McGee. John Ghia. And Greg Amerkanian, the 4th skater for Bergen Catholic. A goal here would narrow the Montclair deficit to 1.
This is just a break Montclair was looking for.
Statlander. Pass too hard for Mandry, but Mandry settles, plays it behind the net. In front, and a goal! Put in by Kennard Rhodes.
Kennard Rhodes making the play from the corner. The pass from Phil Mandry. He came out, waited for the defenseman to clear, and then tucked it on the far side.
At 10:45 of the second period, a power play goal. The second power play goal of the evening for Montclair, and Kennard Rhodes, Pete, steps in all alone.
There we see it. Again, faking to the short side, then going to the far side. Don Shields not able to get the stick over quick enough, and 3-2 puts Montclair right back in the game.
.4:15 left to play in the second period, and another power play goal.
Again, Matt, what we saw was the patience of the Montclair squad. Statlander with the puck at the point, waited and waited, then he threw it to Mandry. Mandry hit Kennard in the corner. He came out and then made the play.
Now let's see if this brings Montclair to life. See what effect it has on both teams. Breaking in, here's Mandry. Goal! And we're tied.
Mandry taking the pass in the slot, only about 20 feet out. And he beat Don Shields high to the glove side. And as we mentioned earlier, sometimes just one goal is all you need to wake up your club. And that was definitely morning call right there. Montclair's come back with 2 goals in the last 30 seconds. Here's the shot. He's dead in the slot. Quick snapshot. He knows it. It's in. There's the red light on top.
3-3 with 3:56 to play in the second period. That goal at 11:04, an even strength goal. And here's John Frank, one-on-one. Goes around McLaughlin. Puck played out in front, still loose on this doorstep. And we have a whistle and a stoppage of play as the net has come off its post.
I don't know how much of this I can take, Matt. We had the same excitement in the first game, and it's repeating itself here in the second game.
Delbarton, the winner in the first, and right now we are tied.
There's
Phil Mandry.
60 points this year for Phil.
His 32nd goal of the year. Montclair with balanced scoring. They have about 10 skaters with double figures in points. They have 3 skaters with 50 or more points, another 2 with 35 or more. And again, Pete, you mentioned that the 2 big guns for Bergen Catholic with over 90 points, but after that there's a sharp drop-off.
Real sharp drop-off, and we discussed earlier with Bruce Parker if he would shadow.
Puck is loose, and it goes in! McGee with the goal.
That's one of the fellows we thought he would shadow, McGee and Ghia. Apparently he has elected not to, and it might cost him this game. There was a shot by McGee, which we thought Ed Krupp had, but it trickled through and just inched over the line.
So we have a scoreless second period for most, and now in the last 2 minutes we've got 3 goals.
Quick wrist shot. Now watch Krupp, he's got it, and uh-oh, there it is, there it is. It's in. The whole puck has to be over the whole line, and it just trickled over.
3 goals in 1:50.
And it's not over yet.
Here's Bill Morris. Can't control, puck is loose in front. Picked up by Mandry. In the corner it goes. McClean comes away with it. Spinning. McLaughlin trying to get a face. This is McClean playing it in front. It goes off of Mandry. McClean still with it. In front, the backhander. Loose puck. Bill Morris puts it wide. Rutigliano looks for and gets a face-off.
Here's the first backhand. Nice save. Nice save by Shields. Second shot right there goes wide behind the net. That was the best opportunity, but he couldn't hit the net.
4-3 game. Bergen Catholic on top. They led 3-1 after 1. We had a quiet 10:45 of the second period, and all of a sudden the floodgates open. 3 goals in less than 2 minutes. It's 4-3, a 1-goal advantage for Bergen Catholic. Out in front, Mandry scores!
There it was. That was a replay of the goal we saw down the other end where we thought the goaltender had it, just trickled under his arm, and just managed to squirt over the line. We're back to 4-4, and this game has opened up into a wide-open game where they're throwing defense to the wind.
Mandry's 33rd goal of the year, his second of the evening, and we're tied at 4.
Here's the pass from the corner. Now, Mandry has a little trouble at first with the pass. There he stops it, now shoots. It appears to just sneak between his arm and his body and goes in. There you look at the top of the screen, you see Paul McGinnis giving the signal.
Now, this is the kind of pace that Bergen Catholic likes, the run and gun, the shoot 'em out. But in terms of depth, this pace might favor Montclair. They've got more skaters to put out there. They go 4 lines deep, although we've really only seen 3. Bergen Catholic primarily a 2-line team. So in the third period, it may take its toll.
It may, Matt, and we've said that many times, and I'm beginning to believe that doesn't happen. I'm beginning to believe at the high school level, these boys are 15 and 16 years old. They have all the energy in the world, and if there's ever a game they're going to be up for, this will be it. So normally I'd say that's true, but I got a hunch tonight it's not going to take place. The best team's going to win. I don't think fatigue will play a major part.
Puck loose in front, played into the near corner. Here's Kennard Rhodes. He's got a goal tonight. Plays it out into center ice. Fred Lacena, the freshman defenseman, out there with a sophomore, Brian Kennedy. And Kennedy injured most of last year, really almost a freshman in terms of experience this year. Here's McGee playing it ahead. List will get back off the boards into the center zone. Picked up by Statlander. Statlander loses control. Settled by Frank. And we get an offside as Statlander couldn't get back onside before he touched the puck.
We're down to just over a minute and a half to go as we take a look at Mark Pecoraro, the Bergen Catholic coach. Mark, in his second year, has taken over for John DiCarlo, who used to be the Bergen Catholic coach.
Bruce Parker, the gentleman in the blue, nearer to you. Tom Clifford, his assistant, to the far side of the screen, now partially off the screen. 4th-year head coach. Was the coach at Methuen, Massachusetts High. Montclair lost to Methuen this year in the finals of the Clary Anderson tournament. Out in front, Beiersdorfer's shot is partially deflected by Fuller. Out in front and cleared away by Amerkanian all the way down, and this will be an icing call. And we'll come back down the other way with 1:20 left to play in the second period. Matt Laughlin along with Pete Caggiano. We hope you're enjoying all the action. This is game number 2 of our doubleheader. In the first game, Delbarton edged St. Joseph 6-5 in a thrilling come-from-behind victory for Delbarton. They will be in the championship for the 2nd consecutive year, looking for the title, and they will take on the winner of this game. Bergen Catholic hoping to get into the final for the first time. If Montclair does get into the championship, they'll be looking for their first title since 1981.
And just like in the first game, Matt, there's just a minute and 19 seconds to go here in the second period. It looks like the game will be decided in the third period. Both games will be entering the third period with a tie score, or so it seems. And it'll come down to the last 15 minutes of play.
Bergen Catholic outscored the Mounties 3-1 in the first. Montclair has outscored the Crusaders 3-1 here in the second. And the puck goes into the Montclair bench. We'll have another face-off. 1:11 left to play.
This slow-down style now has to benefit Montclair. As you mentioned, they are the team that likes to take the slow, disciplined style, with Bergen Catholic being the run-and-gun people.
The clock has not started here, Pete. 1:11 remains on the clock as play has gotten underway.
Oh, they just started it now. I think they're about 5 or 7 seconds behind. Let's see if they do adjust that later.
3-on-2. Morris centers it, and a goal. Beautiful play as McClean scores the goal.
Beautiful goal by McClean, but the pass by Bill Morris is what set it up. Morris waited for McClean to break free, slid the puck right along the ice, right in the goal mouth. All he had to do was put his stick down, and McClean gets the goal, but it's Bill Morris on a beautiful pass.
Second goal of the evening for Dave McClean, number 27 on the year, and the Mounties have taken the lead for the first time.
Here's the replay. Now watch Morris, the left wing coming down the left side. Notice the pass, picture perfect. Right there, McClean just extending the stick, touching the puck, redirecting it into the far side, and that gives them a 5-4 lead with just under a minute to play here in the second period.
Now that goal comes at 14:02 according to the clock, but really probably should have been about 14:17.
Yeah, they lost a few seconds on that.
And I was going to say, neither coach complaining about it until perhaps it had an effect on the game.
But I have to tell you, the scorer knew it because he looked at the clock. I don't know if it was a mechanical problem or he just forgot to turn it on, but he knew it.
Montclair with its first lead. There have been 2 ties. Bergen Catholic jumped out in front 3-1. Montclair has now rallied to take the lead late in the second period. Puck kept in. Big slapper. Deflected just wide. Kennedy trying to play it out for Cunningham. Cunningham looking to get it ahead to McGee. Into the Montclair zone. They can't get it out. 29 seconds left. Statlander sends it toward goal. Shields with the stick into the corner for Kennedy. Kennedy gets it out of the zone. Mandry with it, sends it right back in as Montclair keeps up the pressure. Kennedy looks to head man to Ghia, goes past his stick. This is Statlander into center ice. McGee with it. Now Statlander flips it ahead with 5 seconds left in the period. And that'll do it. So Montclair, with the come from behind effort here, outscoring Bergen Catholic 4-1 in the second period, and the Mounties will take a 1-goal lead into the locker room as we take a break between the second and third periods. When we come back, we'll have 15 minutes of regulation still to play. Second period scoring went like this. Montclair narrowed it to 3-2 on a goal by Kennard Rhodes with the assists to Phil Mandry and Dave McClean at 10:45. And then the goals came in bunches. Montclair evened it up. Mandry with the goal, Morris and McClean with the assist. Bergen Catholic took the lead at 4-3 as Ghia scored his third goal. This is a correction. And the assist to Chris McGee. We had it McGee with the goal, but they have changed it. Ghia now has the hat trick. Chris McGee with the assist. That came at 11:35. Montclair tied it up once again as Mandry scored his second goal with McClean and Morris on the assists. And then at 14:02, Montclair took its only lead of the game. McClean with the goal, Mandry and Morris with the assist. They lead 5-4. 15 minutes of regulation still ahead. And that line of Bill Morris along with McClean, and you've also got to throw in there Mandry, has done very well.
This should be an exciting 15 minutes, and I think you said the magic word, Matt, when you said regulation time 15 minutes. We very easily can see overtime tonight.
Bruce Parker has done a great job as a quick shot and a loose puck is cleared off the Montclair doorstep. Montclair's coach, Bruce Parker, has done a nice job of changing his lines around. It was McClean with John Morris centering Phil Mandry, but then Bill Morris, I guess doing the better job, has come on. Here's a 3-on-1. McClean playing it for Mandry. Puck is underneath Lacena, and he holds on for the faceoff.
Fred Lacena, only a freshman, played that beautifully. That was a 3-on-1. He played the shooter and then stopped the pass. Here we'll see it. Watch as he goes down with the stick, just gets a piece, and then he's smart enough just to cover up. That's one penalty that will not be called, especially in a game like this. And as I said, only a freshman, his first year on the varsity, made a beautiful play.
And the puck is cleared into the Montclair zone. Chase is on, and it is picked up by Darren List. List sidesteps a check but goes flying to the ice. Here's John Frank. Kicks it across ice. picked up there by Tom Guidi, sends it into the Bergen Catholic zone. Kevin McLaughlin can't clear it. It's settled by Frank. He can't control. And now the puck is cleared into the Bergen Catholic bench, and we'll have a face-off, and it will be inside the blue line as we are just underway in the third period. Crowd has thinned out from the first game, of course. Delbarton, the home team here at Mennen, and they brought a lot of fans with them as we take a look at the sparsely populated Mennen Arena. And also, it's gotten colder in here, Pete.
Thank God. It was awful warm in the beginning of this game.
I thought it was toasty. I thought it was nice.
You were downstairs. Steve and I worked the first game, and it was awful warm up here.
Marty Statlander with it in front of his own net, brings it out. Sent down to the ice, no call is made. Puts it between his legs and sends it into the Bergen Catholic end. Here's Amerkanian with it, and now we have a stop in play as it looks like Marty Statlander, yes it is Statlander, who is shaken up. And Tom Clifford, the assistant Montclair coach, will come sliding out onto the ice to attend to the senior tri-captain.
Statlander took a stick right across the back. It was very close to being called checking from behind. Paul McGinnis was looking right at it and felt it was not a cross check. But if you watch right there, boom, he gets hit. That's Greg Amerkanian that hits him right in the small of the back. And Statlander having a little problem getting up.
Might have had the wind knocked out of him, and if so, will be back on his feet shortly. There he is, and will be back on the ice after a moment or two breather on the bench. Gets a round of applause from the Montclair fans who have come to Mennen Arena.
Matty, you keep mentioning the Mennen Arena. Let me just say this place is run by the Morris County Park Commission and is probably the premier rink in the state. All of the college playoffs this year were played here. All of the, all of the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals of the high school league are played here. This has become the top rink in the state, and there's no doubt about it, it's a beauty.
Here's a 3-on-1. Backhander wide. Puck loose, and is cleared. Paul Sniski with the backhand that just missed. And now the puck is cleared into the Montclair zone. Doug Macon with it. Macon checked hard into the boards by Ghia. Cunningham can't control. He goes running into Beiersdorfer as a shot is taken wide by Ghia. Across the blue line, this is Sniski. Big slap shot goes wide. You mentioned the Mennen Arena. We want to thank the manager of the arena, Reynold Fossey, for all his help and assistance in letting us set up here and do some things that they're not used to here in Morris County because, quite frankly, they don't have the local channel that covers the games as much and as often and as well as TV3 does, but they are more than helpful.
Unfortunately, Reynolds is not here this evening, and that's because he was celebrating today. The team he is the assistant coach of, along with Coach Ron Armstrong, the Morris Community College hockey team, last night defeated Southern Connecticut 2-1 for the college championship.
So congratulations to CCM. Puck loose in front, shot goes wide. List taken down, no call, gets up and has the puck. Darren List coming out, cross ice pass ahead. This is Mandry in on goal. He shoots it and partially was blocked by Shields.
Excellent save by Don Shields. That time it looked like Mandry was going to beat him to the far side again, but that time Shields, as you mentioned, Matty, a flopper, had the right pad down and just got a piece of his toe on it. 5-4
Montclair lead. We've played a little less than 3 minutes in the third period. Amerkanian can't control in front. Statlander and Amerkanian go at it, and Statlander's going to go off for 2 minutes. Marty Statlander and Greg Amerkanian went at it, and Amerkanian is slow getting up. A pair of 16s.
Well, that could be payback. Amerkanian was the fellow who hit Statlander in center ice before and hurt him. Players don't forget who does what to them. The smart players do not retaliate immediately, but take their time. And right there, when Statlander had a chance to pop him, he hit him, but unfortunately, he got caught.
But it is Statlander who will go off, as you mentioned. He did get caught, so you wonder what kind of a payback it turns out to be. Bergen Catholic with the man advantage. We have played an even 3 minutes. McGee comes away with it. Plays it out to the point for McLaughlin, and it comes across the blue line. Tom Guidi will send it down. Shields will settle it and leaves it for Kennedy, who plays it to McLaughlin. 1:35 left in the Statlander penalty. McLaughlin across the red line, sends a bouncer in on Krupp. Rebound, loose puck, and cleared by List.
That first shot that Ed Krupp had to make the save on was tricky. It was flopping, it was jumping. He was just able to get a piece of it, but notice the rebound was left all alone because he could not control it. And Bergen Catholic almost scored on the opportunity.
Here's a giveaway. Frank in front. Kick save made by Shields. Puck is loose, picked up by McGee. McGee coming out with Ghia. Knocked away and nicely by Macon. Cleared but not out. Amerkanian keeps it in. And now it comes across the blue line as Bergen Catholic will have to regroup with 48 seconds left in the Statlander penalty. And we get an offside as Amerkanian was ahead of the play.
Just a little mental lapse by John Ghia. He was standing right on the line. He had the puck on the line, but did not bring it across the line. That he should have done before making his play.
Here's McClean. 1-on-2, joined by Mandry. McClean flips it toward goal. Shields comes out with the save. He was hoping to get it to Mandry for the tip-in, let him just a little bit, but Shields came up with the save anyway as he was partially screened.
Shields played that well. He stayed and played his position and was able to block the pass as it came through.
Out to the point. McLaughlin's shot is blocked. Mandry in the race with McLaughlin. Coming in on goal and sends it wide. Shields held his ground and McLaughlin was there hammering away at Mandry, and the puck goes wide. Penalty is over to Statlander as the teams are at even strength. 9:55 left to play in regulation. Montclair leads 5-4. The winner advances to the championship on Wednesday. There they will take on Delbarton, who won earlier this evening 6-5 in a game shown to you over TV3 as part of our doubleheader coverage. Puck kept in. List shot is deflected by Ghia. He sends it toward goal. Loose in front, and it goes through Shields' legs, and a goal. Dave McClean with the goal.
McClean didn't know it went in. He was looking underneath Don Shields. He thought Shields had made the save. All he had to do was look up and see the red light on.
And the hat trick for Dave McClean, and it is 6-4.
Matt, I didn't see who the player was, but when we see the replay, you will see there's a situation where the puck comes through the slot and a Montclair player does nothing more than just lift up the stick of the Bergen Catholic player, allowing the puck to slip through. When the puck slips through, McClean's all alone in front, and with all that time, he's able to tuck it home.
6-4, Montclair on top. We are told we will not have that replay for you, but McClean with the hat trick, and it's a 2-goal lead for the Mounties. Here comes Amerkanian. Loses possession and just sends it on in. Statlander can't control, and Krupp falls on it as Rutigliano comes in and tries to jar the puck free. Krupp takes exception to it. And now Chris McGee and Vin Godleski, or excuse me, Amerkanian and Godleski are yelling at each other.
The unfortunate thing is that fellow, like I said, I don't know who it was, probably will not even get an assist because he did not touch the puck. But he did the best thing he could, which was to prevent the Bergen Catholic player from touching it, allowing it to slip through to Dave McClean.
Slap shot by Lasena. It's blocked by Guidi. Races on. This is Rhodes. Rhodes is knocked to the ice. Amerkanian picks it up. Here comes Bergen Catholic. Greg Amerkanian across the blue line. Has two players to his left. Plays it out in front, knocked away. And in the corner, Rhodes will send it, but not out. Kennedy keeps it in, flips a shot toward goal, knocked down by Statlander in front. And Statlander leads a 4-on-2 break. Plays it off of Lasena. And Fred Lacena, the freshman, behind the net. Plays it up along the boards. This is Jeff Leonard. Checked hard by Rhodes. Puck comes free. Statlander across the ice. It goes to Macon. 8:28 to go in the third period. And we have an offside.
Junior Kennard Rhodes has played an excellent game tonight. Besides the goal that he received, which gives him 3 on the season, not known for his scoring, has played a real aggressive style.
Doug Macon taking a breather. A senior, one of the 3 captains. Marty Statlander and Bill Morris are the others. Bergen Catholic led 3-1. After 1, we had a quiet almost 11 minutes of the second period, and then the floodgates opened. 5 goals scored, 4 by Montclair. They led 5-4 after 2, and Montclair has scored the only goal here in the third, and the Mounties lead 6-4. Montclair, the Gordon Cup champions this year. Save made by Shields, can't control it, but it's cleared away by Rick Fuller. Fuller tries to apply the check. Beiersdorfer with it. In front. Loose puck. Still free. Out in front. Beiersdorfer tees it up. Deflected. And cleared away by McGee. Statlander keeps it in on the near side. Kevin McLaughlin tries to get it out. Puck still kept in. Sent in toward goal by John Morris. And the puck flips up on the net. And so we have a stop in play and a face-off.
Again, Montclair playing a very disciplined style, controlling the puck. There is Coach Bruce Parker, and he already has
kind of
one.
Relaxed, doesn't he?
Well, it
looks relaxed.
Looks relaxed. Okay, I would not want to know what his pulse rate is about now, but he looks relaxed. Gordon Cup champions this year, which they've been the odds-on favorite for quite a few years. This year they were able to capture that title. Now looking to make it 2 this year by winning the state championship.
Montclair has always had a very fine team. In the last few years particularly, they just haven't been able to get to the championship game. If this lead holds up, they will be there in the 12th annual state championship game. They'll take place Wednesday evening back at Mennen. 7 o'clock game time. And Paul Spahala and Pete will be here for all the play-by-play and commentary. Delbarton's already there. These 2 teams battling it out to see who will join them. Good play. Mandry in front, and an excellent stop by Shields. Loose puck, and he stops Morris again. So Shields comes up big twice.
We saw 2 beautiful plays. First, the pass work by Montclair, and then the save by Don Shields. Here's the pass. If you would think he's going to take it, but watch how he slides it over. There's the save, and then watch, it's loose. Comes out, takes a forehand, you can't quite see, but with his left arm, Don Shields is able to scrap that puck in and stop Bill Morris from about 5 or 7 feet out. If Morris was able to lift it, it would have been 7-4 at this point.
And that could have been the coffin shutter for Bergen Catholic. As it is, it's creaking closed, but it's still a little bit open. 3-on-2. McClean. Playing it from Mandry, but it's knocked away by Fuller nicely. Knocked down with the high stick, picked up by Bill Morris, flips it toward goal, it goes high. Dave McClean in the corner, backhands it for Morris, tries to get away from his man, puck comes free. Picked up by Chris McGee, winds it around behind the net. Along the far side, Bill Gordio seeing some ice time for the first time tonight. Can't clear it. This is Gordio, 14, gets his stick on the puck just a little bit.
Matt, it seems like Bergen Catholic is starting to lose their cool a little bit. The sticks are coming up high. They're head hunting. They're trying to take a little too much and do a little too much right now instead of just playing their game.
And it seems to me, Pete, they're losing their legs a little bit.
Could be.
Fresher legs seem to belong at this point to Montclair.
I'm not sure if it's fresher legs due to the fact their emotions have been drained or the fact that Montclair now, because winning. Uh-oh, we have a penalty coming here.
Boy,
Paul
oh
McGinnis
boy.
is going to call a delay of game, and rightly so.
On Doug Macon. Macon had lost his stick, was playing the puck along the boards with his hands. Easily, it could have been a hand pass that would have stopped
exactly,
action.
But he picked up the puck. He grabbed it. Watch.
Loses his stick.
And now, instead of just shoveling it,
if he passes it to a teammate, we got to stop and play.
That's
now he
all,
decides to
which is
pick it
exactly
up,
what you should do.
picks it up, holds it, and tries to get rid of it, and that's going to be a delay of game penalty. And that'll be called against Doug Macon. And boy, oh boy, Montclair has everything in hand. You don't want to give your opponent an opportunity, and they've just done that. Still a lot of time left, 5:49 to go in regulation. A 2-goal lead could be narrowed to 1 with a power play goal.
And you're talking your captain, your senior, the fellow who's supposed to combine with Marty Statlander, and that's just not a smart play.
And a timeout has been called by Bergen Catholic. So Mark Pecoraro wants to talk things over. He realizes how important it is to get a goal here.
Absolutely. One here puts him right back into it, and we may have the same ending we had in the first game.
Remember, each Saturday and Friday evening, Saturday afternoon and Friday evenings, we have Suburban High School Sports Report as Steve Mayer brings you all the news on the high school sports scene. And I'm sure this Friday evening he'll be recapping the championship weekend, which has been extended somewhat with the hockey championships. Of course, he'll talk about the wrestling and the basketball, and he'll recap some highlights of this semifinal game, and I'm sure I'll have some highlights of the championship. That's Suburban High School Sports Report, Fridays at 8:30 and Saturdays at 5:30 on TV3. And don't forget Time In every Thursday evening live at 6:30. And this Thursday evening, Larry Doby, the first Black American League baseball player, will be my guest. And this is the 40th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color line. Larry Doby, sometimes overlooked in that historical perspective because it was Robinson who broke the color line, but certainly Doby breaking in with the Cleveland Indians as the first Black American League player should have his place cemented in history. We'll have an opportunity to speak with the Patterson native on Time In, and we invite our viewers' phone calls Thursday at 6:30 on Time In.
Does Larry Doby work with Don Newcomb and a few of the other former players to do some work with the current athletes?
Actually, Larry Doby's full-time job is with the New Jersey Nets. He is in community relations. At this point, I'm not sure whether or not he does some counseling of athletes. Doug Macon in the net, or excuse me, in the penalty box, sitting it out 2 minutes. Delay of game penalty assessed to the senior. He'll sit it out unless a goal is scored until the 3:49 mark. Bergen Catholic's timeout. Not only did it set things up or enable them to do so, it also gave them a break.
It rested their best players, and those are the ones they want on the ice right now.
McGee tries to slap it home from a tight angle. Krupp comes up big, and then McGee is checked into Krupp by List, and Krupp a little upset, but it was List who sent McGee into his teammate.
Many times goaltenders are awful annoyed because forwards are falling on top of them. But if they ever picked up their head and looked, it's their own defenseman 9 out of 10 times that's dumping the forward into the crease.
McGee on the face-off along with Dave McClean. Interesting face-off angle by McClean. He's sent out.
Exactly so. He was cheating too much. He was not squaring himself to the drop. And that's why Paul McGinnis threw him out of the face-off circle.
Puck in the corner. Statlander tries to get it out of the zone, and it skips past Kennedy and comes all the way down. Shields leaves it for McLaughlin. 1:32 left in the penalty to Macon. Here's Kennedy. Knocked away by Phil Mandry. Mandry cuts in, finds himself open, and scores a shorthanded goal. We talked about the nail shutting the coffin a few moments ago. That might have been it. Mandry with the hat trick, and it's 7-4.
Matt, a little birdie in my ear about 4 minutes ago said that Mandry probably would pick up one more, and gosh darn it, he was right. There we see Mandry picking up the loose puck in center ice. Here's the nice move. He starts going to the left, now cuts back to his right, sidesteps a check, now waits for Shields to commit himself, and then beats him back to the far side as he moved from his left to his right. It's 7-4, but still the power play for Bergen Catholic.
Some fans beginning to leave the Mennen Arena as they sense things are all but officially over. 4:52 left to play in regulation, a 3-goal Montclair lead. The Mounties trail 3-1 after one. The middle 2 periods have been theirs, or excuse me, the final 2 periods have been theirs. It appears as if Bergen Catholic will fail in its attempt to move into the championship game for the first time in school history. Still, never having been in the semifinals before, a history-making season of sorts for Bergen Catholic. McGee sends it wide. Here's Lucena at the point, playing it into the corner. Puck in front, good save by Krupp. Puck is still loose and Krupp comes up with it. Diving on the pile, and it looks like we're going to have a penalty.
I believe so. I think it was Marty Statlander, I'm not sure. Cross-checking Ghia right in the back. In fact, they're still hugging each other. Watch as the pass comes from behind the net. There's the first shot. Nice save by Krupp. And now we see it coming on. No, it's not Statlander. Right there. Ooh! He gets it in the face from Statlander on the right-hand side. I can't quite see who the one on the left. Might be Darren List, who got him in the back. And, yep, that's who the penalty is going to be to, Darren List.
So, 2 men in the penalty box for Montclair because Mandry's goal was a shorthanded goal. 12 seconds remain on the penalty to Doug Macon. And now sitting out for 2 minutes will be Darren List. So 2 of the top 3 defensive players are in the penalty box.
Maybe Montclair's doing this for ratings. They know if they blow this team away, everybody's going to turn off. So they want to keep it close right to the end.
3 late goals in the first game enabled Delbarton to make it into the championship. Bergen Catholic will have to score 3 late goals in order to move into a tie situation and force an overtime. 5-3 skating advantage. Now it's 5-4 as the Macon penalty is over. McLaughlin's shot skips clear as Krupp got a stick on it. Here's a 2-on-1 break. Mandry with McClean. Mandry plays it to McClean, and coming out is Shields, and he upsets McClean, and we're going to get a penalty on Shields for taking down Dave McClean.
Paul McGinnis has a slash called. I didn't quite see who it was. It might just be the goaltender. Now watch. Here's a good pass as he comes in. No, the slash happened with the player skating down the side.
Looks like Ghia whacking McClean.
That's where the slash came into play. He tripped over Don Shields' stick, but that's not what caused the penalty. The penalty was Ghia taking a swipe and getting caught for it.
So each team has a player in the penalty box. And skaters are 4 aside with 3:25 left to play in regulation. And Montclair on top by 3, 7-4. And the bad news for Bergen Catholic fans, aside from the fact that time is running out, is that their second leading scorer is sitting in the penalty box. Statlander, big slap shot, goes wide. Statlander and Amerkanian have been going at it the last couple of minutes. Amerkanian now on the bench, but if Statlander and Amerkanian are on the ice at the same time, and the remaining 2:49, let's keep an eye on 2 number 16s.
I don't think that's over, Matt. I think you're going to see those guys come together at least one more time. It looks like they don't like each other, and they're showing it.
Lucena's shot didn't tee it up properly, and it goes wide. 2.5 left. 28 seconds left in the penalty to List. Under a minute to go in the penalty to Ghia. Time running out on Bergen Catholic. Montclair hoping to get to the championship game. And we're going to get a penalty as we will get a cross-check. And going out is Rutigliano. Guidi chasing after Rutigliano, and they are jawing just a little bit. And now they are separated, and going to the box for 2 minutes is Peter Rutigliano.
Rutigliano, a senior, also an assistant captain, with 5 goals this year and 13 assists. If you watch along the board, you're going to see him cross-check, and it could be either called one of 2 things, either checking from behind or cross-checking. He called checking from behind, but if you saw it, the head snapped back on the Montclair player. That's why they call those penalties. They are so dangerous. When a player gets blindsided like that, it can hurt quite a bit.
Guidi came up and chased after Rutigliano, but in the end decided that it was better for Montclair, I guess, to have a man-up situation. As I said earlier, the final 2 periods have been in the Montclair column after a 3-1 Bergen Catholic advantage after the first period. We have 2:16 left to play in semifinal game number 2. A 4-on-3 skating advantage for Montclair. Ghia and Rutigliano in the penalty box for Bergen Catholic, and sitting it out Darren List for Montclair. List has 10 seconds left in his penalty, 41 seconds left in the Ghia penalty. A lot of room out on the ice.
And this is where you're going to see McClean and Mandry do their stuff.
Mandry plays it to Statlander. He shoots it wide. Mandry recovers, plays it back for Frank. Slap shot goes wide. Penalty is over to List, and it is a 5-on-3 advantage for Montclair for 13 more seconds. Kennard Rhodes getting around Kennedy, coming in on net, plays it in front, and it's knocked aside by Shields, and it's cleared out. Here's Ghia coming out of the penalty box with the puck. Breaks across the blue line and is knocked away by John Frank.
If you saw on the bottom of your screen, Paul McGinnis was waving off the signal because a player could not come out of the box and play the puck, but the puck was touched first by Statlander in center ice, which allowed the player, Ghia, to play the puck. Now we're going to have another penalty against Bergen Catholic.
And it looks like Montclair is also going to lose a player here. Going off is Kevin McLaughlin for Bergen Catholic, and I believe Kennard Rhodes is also going to go in, and he will. He'll sit it out.
Matt,
so the last few minutes have become sloppy, and frustration showing on the players.
Absolutely, and that's a control penalty, what you saw right there. Probably would have been let go if it was earlier in the game or a tighter game, but now there's no reason to let that go. Right now, Montclair is thinking, do not get into any trouble. We have another game coming up on Wednesday, the final against Delbarton. They just want to escape the last minute and 13 seconds and start planning for Wednesday.
57 seconds left on the Rutigliano penalty. 2-minute penalties assessed to Rhodes and to McLaughlin.
There we take a look at Mark Pecoraro.
Rhodes' penalty, by the way, for unsportsmanlike conduct, and McLaughlin's penalty for roughing. The championship game will come your way over TV3. Our first airing will be Thursday evening at 8 o'clock. Delbarton against, apparently, Montclair, barring a miraculous comeback by Bergen Catholic. And again, we will be showing it to you at other times on TV3, but we invite you to stay with us throughout the week as we will inform you of those showings. But the first showing of the 12th Annual State Hockey Championship will be Thursday at 8 on TV3.
And if you check a time in on Thursday evening, you can probably get the dates and times of our other showings of this game.
1:13 left in Montclair with the 3-goal advantage. And again, things have bogged down just a little bit with the penalties that have been assessed over the last few moments. Somebody from the stands, I believe, threw a puck out onto the ice. Really kind of a crazy gesture. It really wasn't aimed at a player, or at least it didn't appear that way, but it did come flying out of the stands. And you don't need nuts throwing things out on the ice.
No, that you don't. And what really makes it fun is when they throw it during play, because then the players don't know which puck to play.
That happened in a Devils game. And we're going to get another penalty. We're going to get a trip here. Somebody's going to go off. Dave McClean. So Montclair called a timeout, and I think Montclair wanted to talk things over, say, listen, let's just get out of here. As you mentioned earlier, we got another game. Let's get out of here safe and sound. But McClean decides that he'll take a player down right after the face-off.
That was real obvious. Watch right here. Watch the stick right. Beautiful.
Beautiful coverage.
Beautiful coverage, beautiful call. It was the kind of thing where it's so obvious, it stares you in the face. If all the calls were that easy, everyone would be a referee.
A lot of players in the penalty box, but barring a goal, only one player will come out before regulation is over, and that is Peter Rutigliano. 50 seconds left in the game, 34 seconds left in the Rutigliano penalty. Skaters are 3 aside. And Statlander just killing some time. So Montclair will go to the championship. They'll look for their first title since 1981. They'll go up against Delbarton, which last year lost in the title game 2-1 to St. Joe's of Montvale. And they avenged that loss by defeating St. Joe's 6-5 in the first semifinal we showed you this evening. And it will be St. Joe's sitting it on the sidelines, watching the championship game this year after having been in the final for 3 straight years. Or excuse me, I'm sorry, it was Brick who won last year.
Brick beat St. Joe's 2-1 last year.
That's right. Delbarton. They beat Delbarton.
Delbarton, excuse me.
Let's get it straight. We were both here, and we both can't figure out. It was Brick beating Delbarton.
It's been a long night, Matty.
22 seconds left in it.
And we're seeing a replacement of the goaltender for Montclair as Ed Krupp is coming off, and going in is sophomore goaltender Colin Samuelson.
So Samuelson between the pipes. Samuelson with a goals against of a little over 2.2 goals per game. He'll be out there for the last 21 seconds. Penalty is over to Rutigliano. It's a 4-on-3 advantage for Bergen Catholic. Rutigliano in on goal, and Samuelson comes up with the save. 7 seconds left. Frank Lauren, seeing some ice time, takes a shot on goal that goes wide as the horn sounds, and Montclair has advanced to the championship on Wednesday. A 7-4 victory over Bergen Catholic. And Bruce Parker,
you can't tell, Matt,
showing no expression at all, leaving the bench area, and I'm sure he's going to talk to his team tonight on the bus ride home and also tomorrow at practice that on Wednesday they will not be able to come out and play a sloppy, slow first period against Delbarton and expect to win the championship.
Oh, not at all. And as you mentioned, Montclair is the type of team that comes on in the end, and Delbarton showed us tonight you can't count them out until the final buzzer. In their game against St. Joe's, 3 goals in the last 3 minutes pulled them on top. So on Wednesday, we should have probably the 2 best teams. This is one year where definitely we do have the 2 best teams in the state playing.
Final score once again, Montclair 7, Bergen Catholic 4. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this. In the first game this evening, Delbarton comes from behind. They advance to the championship with a 6-5 victory over St. Joseph's. And in the nightcap of our twin bill, it was Montclair with the victory 7-4 over Bergen Catholic. And on Wednesday, it will be Montclair against Delbarton for the 1987 state championship. Joining us on the postgame, Phil Mandry and Dave McClean. They had hat tricks for Montclair. And Phil, congratulations on the victory in the championship as Montclair looks for its first title since '81. At this point, you got to feel pretty proud.
Yes, we do, but we know that we have a lot of work ahead of us. Delbarton is being one of the strongest teams that we feel that we haven't seen. It's going to be a tough game. They like to hit. We like to hit. We try to. It's going to be very fast-paced, and we'll see.
3-1 after 1. Bergen Catholic has the lead. Ghia and McGee, I guess, using their speed to get behind you defensively and score. What went on in the locker room between periods? What did Coach Parker say? What did the team say to itself to come out in the second period?
Well, first of all, we weren't really playing our game. We were, as you've probably seen, most of the teams that give us a hard time are the teams that have a few men up by our appointment, so we can't use them when we are in their offensive zone. Having those 2 guys up high, every time they got the puck, they would throw it out. It gave us a hard time, so we went to the locker room. Mostly we're just talking about settling it down, having our defensemen stay high, not letting anyone get behind you. The first man in has to put a lot of pressure on the defenseman, make him have his back to the play because you can't throw a pass up if your back's on him. And now we just give a lot of pressure, and it worked.
It did indeed. You advanced to the championship. Congratulations. Good luck on Wednesday against Delbarton.
Thank you very much.
Phil Mandry, 3 goals this evening as he helps pace the Mountie attack. And now joining us, his line mate, Dave McClean. And Dave, you also had the hat trick. Fine performance. Congratulations. Your thoughts at this time?
Well, we went out there in the first period. We weren't really playing our game. We were sort of like worried about, I think, McGee and Ghia. And then we went in the locker room down 2 goals. But then there we got our acts together, and we started playing more in the corners because they were goal hanging. And that made them bring their players back, and we just think just worked out fine for us.
John Morris starts out centering your line, and then Bill Morris moves up to center your line. Why the move?
Basically because for the beginning we want a hitting line, and John Morris is a little bit more aggressive than his older brother Bill. And then Bill comes on later for the haymaking, which he came on tonight and worked out really well for us. Hopefully it'll work like that against Delbarton.
Well, you 3 guys had a hand in just about every goal, and that helped Montclair to the victory. Your thoughts on Delbarton on Wednesday?
I think we have to probably play the best hockey we've played all year to beat Delbarton. seen them play their previous 2 games, and they're really tough. They play defense like us. It sort of scares me because most teams don't play like that. And they have big guys, and hopefully we can play 3 periods like our last 2 periods here, so we can take them. But we have to come out flying if we want to.
Well, the '87 season is extended for 1 game for Montclair. Congratulations on the win tonight. Good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you very much.
Dave McClean with the 3-goal hat trick, also helping Montclair to the victory. And that line really did click for them. They looked marvelous, Pete.
They sure did, Matty. Montclair, known for their defense, put together an offensive line that showed us everything tonight. Good discipline, fantastic passing, and opportunistic scoring. In other words, what they did is when they had the opportunity, they didn't make a mistake. They put it home every time they had the chance.
Game time is 7 o'clock on Wednesday here at Mennen Arena. Delbarton will take on Montclair for the 1987 state championship. Paul Spahala will be on the play-by-play. Pete will have all the color commentary, and all the action will be shown to you on TV3, 8 o'clock on Thursday evening, following John Patrick and So You Want to Be a Gambler. That wraps up our doubleheader coverage of the state semifinals. Delbarton with the 6-5 victory, Montclair with the 7-4 win. They'll meet in the championship. For Pete Caggiano and Steve Mayer, I'm Matt Laughlin. Thanks for joining us this evening, and good night.